Today I'll speak on a very interesting theme. Yield loss is not a production problem. What is a yield loss? For example, we input 100 kgs to manufacture, and instead of getting 100 kgs out, we get 89 kgs. 11 kgs lost. Where has it gone? If you're putting in 10, you should get out 10. This is the yield loss. You do not know where it has gone. You are working on a capacity of 100 and you are getting 80. Where is the rest gone? Those issues. And since it happens on the shop floor, it happens in the production area, we say yes, definitely it has happened because of production. Just imagine some place like in CAD movies, a murder has happened. Who is to be blamed? The person whose room it is. So that is the reason. It's very easy to blame the operators. And as a countermeasure, we can train them, put in more quality checks in the same area. That doesn't actually happen. In the 16 turnarounds I have done, I have learned one thing. Answer is where you are not looking for. It is the least expected. That is why things get complicated, because we are looking at a place where we feel it should be. Got a 1 rupee coin, it has got lost, and the person is looking for it, and he puts on the light, etc., and he's searching. After 1 hour, we ask him why, what happened. He was still not able to find it. Oh no, I've got torch also, light also, so many things. He said, okay, how did it all happen? He says, I dropped it when I opened the bag. Where is the bag? Bag is in the other room. Why are you not searching there? It's very difficult to search there. There is no place. Exactly. Seems a very foolish story. That's where the answer is. I'll give you a context before we start. In a detergent case, 11% loss, can we reduce it? Second case, suppose there is some rework happening of say 38%, target is 36. What is this 2%? Suppose we can manufacture 30,000 mobiles in a day. Is it the right yield? So such examples. Because the way I explain to you, at the end, you will realize you will actually have to have a cross-functional look. Look into the purchase, the material side. Look into the process, the engineering side. Look into the quality check side. Look into the production engineering side. Actually, I'm talking about look into the system, the way the process has been designed, the way the people have been allocated the roles. And then you will come to the right analysis. Because this is like fever. Fever can happen due to so many things. Could be infection because of so many things. Could be inflammation. Could be your response of immunity. Just taking paracetamol or crocin may not help. Or just saying, okay, this will go by itself, and just take a casual look, that may not be the correct attitude. And the worse, this is the best we can do. Years or months together, we have tried to do the best. This is the best we can do. And that is where the businesses lie. So the yield loss is sometimes, I feel, a thinking problem. So let us debug it. In the first case, when I said 11% yield loss, this patented process, the material specifications clearly said that these are the sources of material, this is the specification of material. Yet, when we worked on one of the sources with the supplier, we said that we are having a huge loss. This is our specifications, this is what we procured from you, what can we do differently? And we told him one thing extra, that whatever is getting lost was carbon dioxide. So we actually had an internal analysis where the loss was happening. That actually took us to the queue where the loss was. That is why we went to that specific supplier. He changed the specs at his end, not our end. Our end was 90% minimum. He says, I will give you 92% minimum. That change of specs, the way we had designed the complete process, the BOM, that changed. and our yield improved to 0.7 from 11, not 8, not 9, not 10, 0.7. Material, not production department issue. This is when it was being designed, when the simulation was being carried out, when they were working with the supplier on what best option, there itself it failed. Second case, a factory is making 30,000 mobiles a day, and we say that more is needed, and they say we will have to set up a new plant, and the complete work is started for the new plant. Somebody comes in, somebody like me who got into the system, we said, okay, definitely we should take a new plant. But what if there is something here? And that limiting belief, we have done the best we can. We are actually getting it from Chinese. They actually produce it there, their best output. We copy their system here and we do that, and we get, this is the best we get. And we have been doing this for 3 years. They were at 1500 crore, came to 6500 crore in 3 years. This is the way we have been doing. So, okay, give me one model line. In that one model line, we changed several things, not just for purpose of change. We identified what the potential things were, analyzed them, found those gaps, found the gap in the hourly variation. The first hour of the shift, the production was less. Whenever the changeover happened, the production reduced. In addition, whenever the parts were being changed, the production reduced. So many things. When quality checks happened, something went wrong, the production reduced. So every small thing we took up, and we took up with all the departments as a cross-functional initiative. And this 30,000 became 50,000. This yield, the capacity of that 8-hour shift gave us this much. It was not the problem of the production department. Third case, it was a premium end workshop for paints. It was a huge plant, several processes. First it was being molded, then it was being surface finished, something called sanding, then it was being sent for paint. In the paint shop, the rework was 38%, and the global benchmark across the 6 plants located in different countries was 36%. So this was a production problem. That 38% target is 36. And again, when the problem was posed to us that we need to do something because the plant is also into losses, we said, okay, this is a good prime area to investigate. Seems very interesting, seems very promising. And we had something which they did not have. We did not have the limiting belief that this is the best, 36 is the best. We said, okay, let us see. We worked back in the drawing board where the material was coming from, where the material was being processed, what processing was done in the molding area, what passed on from molding, what was done in the sanding area, what passed on from sanding, what came into the paint shop, how did it get, in case it was being screened, how did the rejection happen, when the rejection happened, what was the source of the rejection, which particular place it could be ascribed to. We did that, again the system thinking, and we found the problems. Then with the cross-functional approach, each and every one contributed, aligned to the single direction that how can we produce the most. And yes, we did it. We did something more. Instead of 38 to 36, we came down to 13%, a global benchmark. We started to explain to others how we in India can do differently. This is without any AI. This is without any CAPEX. We identified how in different stages the problem was happening. The way I said, somebody lost a coin looking for it there, whereas the loss is in some other areas. Yield loss is something which carries on and becomes bigger and bigger and more irritating as it gets to the customer. The rule which I had actually when I was working in one of the Japanese companies in 2000s, they said 1/10. What you see is 1/10. If I have got 100 and I have got reported a 10 units rejection, in the other section, suppose it is a customer returning me and it is one piece return, they said make it 10 times. because only 1/10 of the people will actually revert back. The rest will just say, okay, let us push it. But it's not important whether it is 1/10 or not. It is that something which we had missed. The yield loss always moves. For example, I said in the molding department, in the case where I was talking about, the painted part 38% to 36, 36 to 13. It was a closed loop. That means whatever you put in would come out. So if there were, say, 10 items which got rejected, they would take the 10 items, put it back into the machine, it would get processed. Again, something came out, again put it back. They never realized that it is actually a problem. And they did not have to report, because what do people fear? If I report this problem, I will get scolded. My incentives will reduce. Incentive will reduce. I will pass on this problem. They cannot detect. The other person does the same, pushes it further. They cannot detect. And from the molding to the sanding to the paint shop, and it increased. We went back to the paint shop and say, the defects which you are finding, where is it coming from possibly? They said, these defects we can see only after the surface has been painted. Those pit marks and small, there are several problems. They are all because in sanding they could not capture it, they could not finish it, and sanding says, we got these defects from the molding. Then we went to the molding. They said, oh, we produce okay parts, there is no standard for these. We went back to our drawing board, had a cross-functional view, checked all those points, added checkpoints. This is a big case study, which we presented globally. And we got this result. Because the yield is coming from here. Don't hide it. Bring it out. Wherever you bring it out, try to see where in the previous sections or the sections you could have done something. Because yield loss is not in production. Yield loss can be taken care when you look into the capability of whom? Capability of your systems. And when in those systems you are dividing the accountabilities into the people. And people work by their capability too. Find where the problem could be, not where it is visible. So yield loss is not a production problem, my dear friends. And more important is, are you doing the same in your areas? Punishing or pushing the production team? Don't do. Sit back, think, analyze, and you will unravel some treasures in your own areas. All the best.